Hi, my name is Carl Stanley and welcome to this section. So now we're going to look at doing some reporting and some analysis. And now I put a big star next to that in my opening comments because once the data's in, all right, and you've started connecting some dots with some fact sheets and that they start working to that meta model, and you put some attributes like some timelines next to it and what have you, you can then get business capability models, all right? And based on the attributes, you can change colors and things on these business capability models. And then you can also go to the next place, which is surveying based on your fact sheets, people in your community, and asking them for updated information so the application owners and things can keep hands on it. Then you can do integrations with Technopedia and then create an application intelligence platform. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some of these bits and give you a tour, a test drive, and I'll show you what I mean by building some of these little capability models with some overlays over the top. So let's talk about quickly reporting. So you would go in dashboard, inventory where a lot of work gets done, imports, exports, and then reporting. Canned reports, straight out of the box. Application portfolio. Right? Cost analysis, metrics, and blah, blah. We won't look at that one. Let's have a look at application landscape. So in this case, I've done one capability called the financial service capability and one application. Okay. Now, once you've gone through your environment and created many capabilities, and then started associating applications to them and projects to them underneath that meta model, this diagram gets massive, right? What do I mean? Let's have a look at. Here was our little import. Let's have a look at a little snag that I took, right? Life cycle view with 5 different life cycle phases of business capability according to the fact sheet. There's a business capability report, and I'll show you how we can put one of these together. But you see how the colors are now going toward each of the different phases? That's cool stuff, okay? And then once you get into the tool and you can export these diagrams and things, and you have automatic quick insights, right? So we've got our data in, we've enriched it to a degree for certain stakeholders based on their views, what they think is important: cost, business criticality, projects, you name it. And then, hey presto, bang, we've got an insight report for them that we can use ongoing. So let's just make sure that, yes, we are there. Now, heat maps. Basically, what I just showed you, application landscape. So at this moment, all we can see is a financial service has an active application in it. And it's active because the active life cycle attribute is active, right? Now, let's look at an IT component matrix. So matrices are things, diagrams are things. So matrices are rows, columns, and where there's an intersection, that's a value, a matrix of things, right? So in this case, we've got an Oracle IT component and it's a server infrastructure component, and in the middle there is a phased out, something that's phasing out, that's taking care of that, right? Let's look at an application matrix. Right, accounts payable and as a process, right? And a financial service capability using SAP. So that matrix will get huge depending on how you've structured your information. It's structured like that under the covers, all right? Now, let's look at an IT component roadmap. based on lifecycle attributes. Boing. You'll notice that when I did the server 2008, I didn't put any lifecycle attributes. Therefore, it's telling me one fact sheet not included in this report due to missing data. Right? That data is lifecycle information. Drill down to lifecycle for each of those components. See what we've got? All of a sudden, I've got a dashboard I can then spit straight out to customers. Bang, 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 bang. And give them information saying on the timeline, oh, by the way, these things are disappearing. Or you've got multiple things doing the same thing, multiple SQL databases, multiple database management services, and some of them are phasing out, some of them are coming in, what's the plan, those sort of things. Very valuable insights. Now, what I said I would show you is an individual visualized report. What do I mean by that? Well, let's have a look at this. You get an option to draw based on the information that you have in your database, right? So I've already got a diagram that I created earlier. It was a capability with application overlay, right? How cool is this? So at the moment, it's not in edit mode, so I'll put it in edit mode now. But you get a drawing surface that you can put stuff on there. It actually even understands UML and some BPMN objects if you want. But we want to use the information in the database. So you can pick any one of these, right, and start dragging components onto the palette, right? So how do you do that? Well, you hit select. And it goes into all your fact sheets and you start selecting things you want to see and they start coming up on your diagrams. All right, and they show up under a box like this. And these lines are drawn automatically when you have them all sorted out in your fact sheets. So there is a dependency between this project and that capability, right? And you'll see that they call these overlays, they call them views, right? So you've got your house and I only want to see the critical walls that are falling over, right? So I put a tag on top of the wall that says critical, right? And I've seen workmen walk through a building, do their assessment of the building and go, oh, click, that's got a bad stud, click, there's termites over there, click, and they just put marks on it, and then the tradesman has to come back around and have a look at it, right? And fix those parts. So based on your attributes, you can pick, say it's application functional fit. Oh, change color based on appropriate fit based on your application. So SAP is considered application fit for this capability. So that capability goes green, stays green. What happens if we look at business criticality? Boom, mission critical. Then you build out these massive capability models and you see where all your core mission critical applications are in a visual thing. Now, visuals always work with, well, always. Most of the time, visuals, well presented, well put together visuals, most of us as learners, we take on board visuals and we can decipher information really quickly and then come to an insight. Okay, LeanIX with this and the dashboards and some customizations with some pictures, you can get to that, right? You get to pictures of things that mean things. You put legends next to them, you make them, repeatable. Then you have a repeatable offering that is of value to your customer. Okay, so I showed you the individual visualized reports, and then I just wanted to make a point here, right? You need to crowdsource information. People need to feed in data. Okay, and there's roles and responsibilities in the tools. You can be an approver and tick things on and off. I haven't seen so much of a workflow where you can kick things off for people to review, but you can invite people to review and then become owners of these fact sheets, and they can become information owners and then feed in the relevant data as things change. Once you have this information, you can help you make your plans, right? I didn't see any future state discussion, but it's a simple tag, right, that you can put against your application components. Now, surveys. Back to your inventory. Save. Reuse. Back to your inventory. And we'll go and have a look at, say, that one, Amazon. Survey. You have to get a survey add-in, okay, because there's no surveys defined as yet. But basically, it allows you to pick up users or people who are collaborating on the platform and send them messages via email and what have you, so that they can add detail and update, right, and view. So everyone's collaborating, everyone's viewing, everyone's keeping everything up to date. So that's a quick, very useful part. There's added detail. I just wanted to do a overview, so I'm not going to go and dive into detail in that space. So the next thing I wanted to show you was, let's think of this in terms of, now that we have the fact sheets and key attributes defined, we can interface to other platforms for real-time metrics. Measurements, right? This is where the rubber hits the road. So measurement, time, cost, number of queries, numbers of things, right? And then you can go into real efficient insights. And because the platform's already put together behind the scene, you've got a meta model that's already working. You can easily import data up into it and then connect it up to Technopedia and what have you. You've just gone to another level of intelligence at a real-time pace, which is fantastic. So I'll show you what I mean by that. And this is straight out of the user guide and help. You can connect the real-time metrics module transforms LeanIX from an enterprise architecture management tool into an application intelligence platform. The add-on allows you to connect real-time data from various external sources, business development operations. So they break it down like that, straight out to a CMDB, right? All the way up into your business metrics for processes and you name it, okay? Once it's connected and you can go and grab that information from all over the place, very powerful tool. So I hope you've enjoyed this look. So what you've got out of it is a cleanup of some data, some import of some data, an orientation to the tool, some next future steps, metrics and matrices of things that you can grab together, and capability maps, which are fantastic. Okay, so thanks for coming along. I've kept these courses short and sweet. Keep your eyes out if you've got any questions, and in the way of some motivation, this helps with your enterprise architecture credibility. You now build around this sort of information a whole enterprise architecture capability. I have a course on Kickstart guide in creating enterprise architecture services. So in theory, if your team is a black box and people are coming to you with, kicking tires and trying to figure out whether they can install this new application, it's going to be better for my business unit if I do it processes this way. You can then grab those insights straight out of your database and then give them information, palatable information, easily and quickly. So, hope you've enjoyed this. I know that there's some great insights there. If you have any questions, we'll jump out to a conclusion. And thank you very much for coming this far.